Okay, we're live. We're live.
Nice,
Yep.
nice.
That looks good. All right, I'm gonna run through the intro.
Cool.
And what the fuck is going on, everybody? Once again, you already know who it is. So today I have a wonderful guest by the name of Daffodil. He is an audiovisual artist like myself. He makes a lot of really badass electronic music. He's on some cool labels. He works with some cool people. Me and him are playing Vibey Desert on July 11th.
9th to 11th.
9th to 11th. Out in the desert here in California. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. There we go.
Sweet. Here we are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How did I meet you? I met you through the Vibey Boys.
We did, amidst COVID, we did a virtual live stream. And you popped through. That was awesome. That was a good one.
That was fun. Aztec was headlining.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do one next week.
Is he?
Yeah.
Do you know who with?
No, he's going to do one of these.
Oh, no, yeah, the podcast. Cool, yeah.
He's Andrew lined that up, which is pretty rad. Yeah, so I met Daffodil here through Andrew and a good homie Boston. They make these rugs, these guys.
Dude, those look really expensive.
Yeah, they're $6 million. So.
NFT money kind of thing.
Yeah. Anyway, I need to vacuum it though. It's kind of the issue. It's getting really messy, and I don't have a vacuum, so I sweep it, and then what it does is it just honestly just moves dirt around on it. It doesn't really successfully clean it up.
Get one of those brushes that like you use to de-shed a dog, where it's like you put a curry brush.
Yes.
Just treat it right, you know.
Probably the move, to be honest, because there's a lot of lint and shit on there. Yeah.
It's just extra flavor. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of spice to it. Maybe one of these days I'll like wash it, give it like a nice shampoo.
I wonder if you can do that.
Yeah, I think
there's some care instructions on their Instagram. Actually, I did their branding.
Nice.
In exchange for a rug that's in progress right now.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm stoked on it.
That's a nice retirement fund you got for these $6 million rugs.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be able to trade it. Should I tokenize it? The rug?
I think you should tokenize it with like spilt bong water on it and make it extra personal. You know.
Yeah, we could also like maybe develop some smell-o-vision technology so like you could preview it.
Yes.
Talk to Nifty Gateway.
I'm going to start going the Beeple route, except for I'm going to one-up him, and I'm going to include just pubes. It's only going to be pubes.
Not cube-themed imagery, but...
Yeah. Not hair. Like, he did hair on his first one. I'm just going straight bush. Yeah.
It sounds technically complicated to get all the curls.
It sounds messy. I don't know. The whole thing. Yeah, you know that like he sent like locks of his own hair.
Oh,
the first.
No, I didn't know he actually did that.
Yeah, so at the first Nifty...
I thought you meant like 3D hair he did a thing.
No,
he sent his hair.
Yeah, when you got the first edition Beeples, they like came with a lock of his hair, which is pretty awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, I like the way that dude approaches that shit. Yeah, man. So what have you been working on? What have you been doing?
Recently, I've been doing freelance work. I left my job in like February and have like the first couple months I was just like recovering from the 9-to-5 lifestyle.
Yeah.
Not recovering. I just went nuts for
I
a couple months. But the last couple months have like really been locking myself in, like keeping a task manager full of work, doing freelance shit from audio editing to cover arts and canvases and animations for people.
Yeah.
So, and then as much as I can doing that for myself and for my work.
Yeah, I think I did that a really long time in Seattle, and I think out in a city out here like Los Angeles, you could really make like kind of a killing doing that out here. Because like even with this shit that I've done in my career or whatever in Seattle, it was like I could find gigs and I got like the bills paid, but so often it was like just that. Like it was just paying the bills. And my overhead is super low in life. Like it's like phone bill, rent, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I don't even have a car, so it was just like doing that. But that's because it was Seattle. There's like, you know, like most of my gigs would come from the internet.
That's actually where I'm at now. Which has actually been kind of surprising to me. It's been really pleasant. Like I've been overwhelmed with work just starting, which is such a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But like incoming messages, like the cool part of it is I think I'm like generating most of my leads just from what I do in music.
Nice.
And the fact that people know that I'm audiovisual, like they're like, oh, I see what you're doing for yourself. If you could like, if I could hire you to do that for my brand, like that would be sick. And
yeah, your stuff looks way cleaner than when I started doing that. When I started doing like freelance work for AV stuff,
yeah,
my shit was so messy looking. I mean, it still is, but that's like stylistic stuff, you know. But like when I started, it was super rough, and like so I could definitely see like how that could be pretty solid work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that shit. I do like doing client stuff, and I like pressure, you know.
Yeah.
But it gets frustrating.
It is, dude. That's definitely the hardest part of it for me is working to please another person, as well as like my ego gets in the way of like when I get revisions or they want me to do something, like I know technically that I know better than them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the whole it's like getting out of the artist mind into the designer mind. Like I am making something to serve a purpose here. It needs to suit and fit their tastes. Like that's why they're paying me.
Yeah.
But it's hard to toggle.
It's the caveat every fucking time.
Yeah.
Is it's just like, it's pretty much, I think, if not like 8 out of 10 revisions that I've gotten for client work, I'm just like, oh,
that's a bad idea.
Yeah, that's like a bad idea. Yeah. The ones that I dislike, to be honest, are people that have too much of an idea.
Yeah.
I get with
too specific.
Yeah, with like zero knowledge of like
execution.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll like come up with these like really wild abstract things and that kind of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you can make anything in 3D, but it won't look good.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's like photoreal, it's like some shit just doesn't look good.
Yeah. There's also like just the practicality of things too. Like if we had 6 months to do this, I'd be happy to knock this out for you, but I think this is going to be 15 seconds long and going to take me 2 weeks. So
yeah, I've gotten some where they hit me with the idea and I'm like, dude, that's shit that like an entire team should take care of. Like I can't.
I can forward you the information for ILM, but
yeah, it's like, what do you want to hire? Fucking Oats Studio? No, but I think it's fun though. I've had clients that specifically are just like, I love your shit, what you're doing for you.
Yeah.
Make that for me.
That's the ideal.
That's great. Yeah. That's stuff
And that's more that's art rather than design, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Art is tight, dude.
Agreed.
Art is sick. I think I started making income off that stuff like 2018. I would say 2017 because I was doing logos and shit in 2016 and 17, and I was doing little things, you know?
Yeah.
But it was so much like I'm just working as making these things that people need. It wasn't like me being like,
expressive.
Yeah, or like me making shit of quality. It was just like they literally don't know how to use Photoshop.
So you're just checking the box kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah. But around 2017, that's when I started actually like making things. And like generating some bread.
Hell yeah.
Per se. and I was bad then. That's the thing. I was bad.
It's that unfortunately from what I'm learning is like it's not exactly a meritocracy when it comes to design or a lot of artistry. I think it's important to a lot of people, but like it's not at the end of the day where things happen, you know?
Yeah, I'd run into a funny thing with my clients as well, where like they would explain stuff, I guess, and I would think because of due process that I need to whip open Octane and all this shit and like go into like and start to, I don't know, put in like gnarly work.
Yeah.
Whereas like more than half the time, what they really want could fucking look like Grand Theft Auto. And they would be stoked on that. Yeah. Like, a lot of time, it's not even about how, like, visually stunning stuff is. It's literally just, like, they want a sick little 3D thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's why Element 3D was, like, my motherfucking... That was like, the bag chaser.
Really?
Dude.
Nice.
Yeah. because if you have like an RTX card that's like damn near real time, might as well be, you know.
Yeah.
And there's ray tracing shadows and that kind of shit. The reflections aren't ray traced, but the shadows are ray traced. The ambient occlusion is ray traced. So like you could just cook up like really, really rock solid like Grand Theft Auto looking shit, but like even like a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, really quick, like super quick.
I'm definitely gonna have to look into that because I like open. I don't want to go too rabbit hole where people don't understand things listening to this, but like every time I open Octane, like I want things to be in path tracing.
Yeah.
I want to push for photorealism, and I want to like make like the. That's not I was gonna say acuity, but like just like the visual stunningness.
Yeah.
I want it to be on par. Yeah. But that's not. It's like it's kind of like niche producing, like producing crazy like Little Snake kind of music where like producers love it, you know. But like if you play that at a club on a Saturday, like everyone's gonna just be freaked out.
Yeah, they're just like, what the fuck. Yeah. I mean, it is akin to that. I like, dude, seriously, like. Element 3D will just get you there so quick sometimes, and so many clients will just be like, yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
Like, they don't... I'm not, like, talking down on people, but it's that when you're not in that world of the expertise of it, of, like, the technique and shit, 9 out of 10 people just see it as, like, sick 3D stuff.
Yeah, you can't, like, perceive the little details.
Yeah.
One thing that I recently experienced that's, like, a good analogy for that... I did some UI design for some web apps for the company I was working for.
Yeah.
And it was a couple months, the whole project, like redesigning their suite. And by the end of it, I was looking at like making the header of everything. Like it was a black header, and I could tell the difference between like the hex code, like straight zeros, and then it was like 000 like AFB or whatever.
Right.
And like I could tell, I would tint it like 1%. I'm like, so much better. So much better. And no one can see that.
Oh yeah. No, I feel it. Yeah, that's funny with UX design especially. It's like that low gray. It bangs so much harder than
white.
Or just black.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Something about that. The homie Taylor, he like helped design the Messix website.
Oh yeah.
Helped design like a lot of that shit. He owns Alpha Motif and he does all his web design and shit. Mm-hmm. He's like the dude that really put me onto those little nuances.
Yeah.
He's fucking sick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's really cool though. It's kind of like when I was first just getting into making things on a computer, I took a class at my local library that was like you could use their computer lab, and there's this app called Game Maker.
Yeah.
And it was like a drag and drop game making thing.
Yeah.
But just making something where you can like open an executable on a computer and click things and things happen.
Yeah.
That shit blew my mind. And like being able to design something and then see it implemented is like, and then I can click through it here, or even just making a prototype. Like that experience is so cool.
Dude, I have no experience in SDKs or like any sort of like software development.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, and so like when people do that, I'm like, you're like scary.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
That's power right there.
It like low key is, yeah, because I'm just like that's where like I don't know, that's the gods of this shit. You know what I mean? Like making something in 3D is really just like an extended paintbrush. You know?
Yeah.
But like when people like write code, I'm like, you're fucking crazy. I can't. Also, my brain doesn't work like that. I can't think.
I don't think so either. Same here.
Yeah, there has to be some level of like tangibility to it. When I'm just like looking at straight code, I'm just like, nah.
There's some really cool tools these days where like codeless development where you're just dragging and dropping things. I recently like made my website with Wix's Editor X. It's like the responsive one. So you can do what you would kind of need a coder to do beyond like the Squarespace, Wix stuff. You'd need an actual web designer just to have things like, say I want to shrink the page and have everything shrink with it or stick to one side or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just able to actually manually do that, but without writing any code. And it took me probably a month to get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But like because you have to learn like what the CSS rules and shit are.
Right.
And then apply that with their visual interface. But like it's empowering, and it's also just really, really cool what you can do without writing code. But the caveat is that that's, made possible by genius coders somewhere.
For real. Do you know about Three.js? Do you
No.
know about that? Okay, so it's like online. It's the same idea as like a online GLB viewer, like a.
Okay, is that a 3D object viewer?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I am so sorry for the listeners. This has been straight into nerd shit.
It's like there are two people that are like really digging this right
like,
now.
hell
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the point to this though, which applies to not just nerds, is like in the pretty much whenever I want to fucking sit down and figure this shit out. I can make like video games that run in real time with physics on your browser. You know?
Jesus.
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable. It's crazy.
What are you doing this with? The
3JS.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you can like they work like little like DCCs for the listeners. That's like C4D and Blender and that kind of shit.
Okay. I didn't even know what that was. What does that stand for?
Digital content creator.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
so it works like a like mini online DCC, the one that I found, and you can literally just like build a little video game that's like first
so
person
cool.
and all this shit. And I'm pretty sure that's how Porter Robinson's websites are built.
Okay, I'm not familiar. I haven't been on them.
Fucking crazy, honestly. Like super, like when you're going through them and seeing how like interactive it is like a video game. You're like, I don't understand how
that's
this works.
perfect for him too.
Yeah,
like that's so cool.
Yeah, I think like the one I'm thinking of in particular might not even be his Porter Robinson website. It might have been the very last.
The virtual self one.
Yeah, virtual.
I was gonna. Yeah, if there's a virtual self website, I need to get on that.
Yeah,
just check it out.
They're pretty incredible, to be honest. Like from just like a web developer standpoint, I'm like, man, I'm not even gonna front. I look at that shit and I'm just like, musicians shouldn't be the dudes that like are doing this. Like this is like shit that like fucking CD Projekt Red should have as their website.
What is that, like a studio?
Yeah, that's who made Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, this is who like fucking game studios should have as like their website. Not saying like there should be any limits on that, but I'm just like, dude, this is so OD. Like that developer should be working, that web designer should be working for like fucking Microsoft or something like that.
I'm honestly though the fact that like I guess it's kind of like especially what you're doing and what I'm trying to do. I love that there's that much effort being put into the things adjacent to the music. Like that's so cool. I mean, it's just like that's artistic integrity in my opinion when like just like the hours of painful work that goes into it creates something super beautiful around a 3-minute song or something, you know.
Yeah, I like the I like the whole universe of it all. You know? It's funny because the stuff that I want to do in the future is not aesthetically really like that at all, but I still want that kind of like immersion, that like escapism, just with something not so cyberpunky, I guess. Really? Cyberpunky is a shitty word to use, but like dystopian, like that kind of stuff. I like that stuff a lot, but it was definitely, for the longest time, it was more a means of what made sense, you know? Because, like, I know, like, CG shit a lot, and I know electronic music. Yeah. And that's what...
It's a good intersection.
Exactly. So, like, you're like, yeah, well, naturally, if you're making CG art with electronic music, it would look... robotic and like sci-fi and that kind of stuff, and I love that shit, but like that's not like that. And
it's like a good entry point, to be honest.
Exactly.
Like that's what I've been doing. And then you see someone like, I guess Porter's a good example, but not that I've seen too much CG or 3D content around his work, but when you see artists making things that are more organic looking and just not cyber techy, it's always like, ooh, that's, for me, it's always like, damn, how did you like get there creatively? Yeah. Or like the Skin, the Flume album, like that cover that's just like all organic, that like just the flowers, like the orchids or whatever.
Yeah, I would on any other day. I would normally be able to remember that designer's name. Shout out to the horn outside. I should shut that window, but I like the atmosphere. Good ambiance. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I kind of like want to figure out something I need to do with these podcasts, and like even like if I get into like Twitch streaming and stuff, is figure out like ambient backtracks. Because like I started realizing when I was watching them, like a lot of podcasts are just speaking audio, which is totally fine. But like, I kind of just want a little bit of something in there, you know.
I feel like just a binaural drone is always, you know, never goes wrong. I mean, it's pretty basic, but
it's but the vibe is too eerie.
Yeah, or intense, or like yoga classy.
Yeah, or yoga classy, exactly. Yeah, so like, I don't know. I want to figure out. I would honestly just stream, just elevator music really quietly.
Yeah,
that would kind of be my shit. Because it's just so perfect. But
yeah, that's funny.
There's a lot of clearance that needs to be done.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I'm definitely not gonna make an hour-long song for every fucking podcast that I do.
Yeah, or even like a royalty-free mix. That would still be a lot of work.
Yeah, and if I ask other people to make it, like, it's no disrespect, it's probably not going to fit that well. You know?
If you're not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like the caveat to that. Because I could do that. I could be like, everyone send in their music and we'll fill an hour. You know what I mean? But then it would just be like a lot of fucking neuro playing while we're talking.
It would be hilarious.
Like, yeah.
Dude, Reggie Watts has a podcast that I heard about. It's like drone versations or something like that. Or it's just the cameras are on drones and like you can audibly hear the drones just.
Oh, that's so you funny.
You can barely hear what they're saying.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's so good.
Holy shit.
That would be like really good to do a spin-off where it's just like Nick P playing the entire time, like super loud. And we're just talking about like our day.
Yeah. Holy shit. Like you could just like barely hear each person. It's just fucking pure like Reese's and shit.
Yeah. Never met Nick P. I'd like to. He's audiovisual too. He's such a badass.
I like the way that I like his take on it. He like does a lot of like 2D stuff. He does a lot of like just design shit, which I think is really cool. Yeah, I met him in Rochester, New York, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, we played a show together. He's a nice kid.
Cool.
He got fucking hammered. It was great. He's a blast when he's super drunk.
Yeah.
It was funny because he's like, when I get really drunk, that's like the last thing I want to talk about is like work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like art, or well, not art, but like design and like technical shit. When he got super drunk, that's like all he wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like hilarious to me because we're like in the back of a car, like whipping through Rochester, New York, like literal like bottles, like we have like bottles in our hand, like taking shots and shit or something like that. Yeah. And he's like asking me like, so, like, what do you, like, send a MIDI clock to Resolume? And I was like, that's all. He's like, yeah, man.
I've definitely been in that situation. I was sober. But when I met the Vibey Desert crew, I actually didn't know anyone in LA. I just pretty much moved out to Orange County where I live. And, I went to a Mutate show. Nasty Nasty was playing. It was dope.
Nice, yeah, he's great.
He's cool, but... I just I was scared to meet anyone because I didn't have any friends out here or anything, and I overheard our VJ Bobby talking about trying to explain what is it, DNX? I always fuck it up still to this day. The Resolume.
Yeah,
format.
DXVs. Yeah.
DXV3 files to someone. So I just budged in there and was like, just export it as a PNG sequence or something like that. And she got really triggered just because I was correcting her on something I did not understand at all.
Oh yeah.
But it's a good way to start a conversation with someone. Just get into the technical things. But I also if I'm really isolated for a while, in a party setting or something, will definitely find myself going into sound design or something stupid.
Yeah, that's kind of that was a really bad habit of mine for a while, to where I would just. I don't know, for me personally, what it was is that, because when I was younger, I knew all this nerd shit, I wanted to just be yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But, I think as I got older, I just kind of have, it's hard to explain, I, have this, it's I don't know, personally, I'm more interested if, someone has, a really solid story about, someone getting fucked up and throwing up on a cab or something. I don't know, or just, some crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel when it's different when you're a hobbyist versus a professional too, or just depends on how much time you're putting into it. Now I'm pretty much at the point where if someone starts to, I don't use Ableton, but if someone starts talking to me about fucking Operator or something at a party, I'm just nodding my head until it stops.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It's just like preference wise. I also like have this, I also started realizing after like enough shows and enough of that, I was like, everyone's a genius. And if they're not a genius, then like I don't actually care either way. You know, like pretty much everyone knows some shit that I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
And so you can do that, and it can be fun for sure, but it's like, I don't know, the whole night of that is like, oof.
And just like kind of how you're spending your time. Like, am I decompressing here? Oh, fuck. That was so cheeky.
Good one.
Am I decompressing here, or am I like actually trying to learn something? Because like I'm not gonna remember this tomorrow. Like even if I'm not blacked out, like I'm not gonna remember the nuances of this tomorrow. I'm tired. Like so someone's playing "Want It" by Kamarion really loud.
My God. Yeah, I had way back in the day. This is so cheesy, but like funny enough. Like one time I was at this after party and was going off on like this whole fucking nerd spiel about audio engineering with my friend. Like we're just chopping it up about that. And, like, I, like, picked up a girl like that. That was, like, literally her thing. She was, like, it was, like, adorable when you were, like, just talking about that stuff. And I'm like, you are such,
you're perfect.
Yeah. Like, you love music shit. That's cool.
That is dope.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just, I think it's probably proximity of just, like, of how long I've been in the shit, you know?
For sure.
I realized, I think, like, what being a musician and like doing that and really like being out in the world as a musician gives you is really interesting life experiences, you know? So like I personally, like I could go home to like my hometown in Vermont and I could talk to my friends about stories and shit like that. Yeah. But the thing is like they've been getting drunk in Lyndonville for like 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not really tapping into a vault of like crazy shit here, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's not, with all due respect, there's not really a lot of culture to that.
For sure.
So it's like when I'm at those functions and like, I don't know, talking to like Brothel and shit and all them, it's like I want to hear what you've been doing because of music, because there's definitely a fucking vault of crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know, whether it just be like, I was here and this happened, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to know. That I just find so fascinating.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm learning this about myself, that I'm less like, because I'm kind of just breaking into the scene personally and like learning how it works, learning what it's like to be a member of it. And I'm like, just with my past life experiences, definitely learning that I'm more of like a stay-at-home person, and like less of like, I've tried to party and I've done lots of my own partying, but like it's like I'm just built mostly to sit in a quiet room, you know. Fair.
Same in a lot of senses, and I think that's why I'm so intrigued by like listening to people, you know, because like I want to, I don't know, it's like partially like I want to vicariously like live that, you know? And then like I guess the other side is I just like find it fascinating. But when it comes down to it, like I talk on accident, like glamorizing alcohol, but it ain't even that. It's just like that's like a funny reference point, like when people are throwing up and shit like that.
No, for sure.
But like mainly it's just like I just like hearing when like I don't know, someone fucking like rode a horse in Amsterdam or something like that, you know.
Well,
something wild.
I mean, like, and those stories are like, there's a bounty of those stories. I'm always very interested in them too. I'm like 2 months like sober from alcohol now.
Ballpark, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not on purpose.
Oh yeah, mine's very intentional. But like, so I'm trying, it's like new waters. I'm like figuring things out, because I played a show just on Saturday actually, and
nice.
Yeah, it was tight. And it was like, I felt like I was like, just like, oh dude, you ever watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Okay, you know when there's like the detective baby legs? And his legs are just, or in Deadpool when that happens too. Anyway, I felt like I had like little baby legs because I wasn't drunk, so I'm like, all my social skills and everything are like getting exercised. But
I've done a few, because there was like a time in my life where I like went straight edge because I just wanted to see what that was like. Yeah, like I was like fucking. I wasn't vegan because I was still eating cheese. Or no, it wasn't even that I was eating cheese. I was just I was drinking like cream in my coffee at the time.
Oh, okay.
But so I was fucking close to vegan. Though,
yeah, damn near vegan.
Exactly, and then I like cut nicotine, cut alcohol, and all this shit. For like 2 months, and I got so grumpy. Like seriously,
that's the thing I am noticing about myself. Like not partying, I gotta like replace that with something because like try not to be a dick.
When I'm around people and I'm sober, it's fine. That's definitely not the reason for my grumpiness at the time. Like I can do it. It's just a bit more like weight, you know.
Yeah,
you're just like
takes a little bit more effort.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's definitely like I don't. Yeah, no. There's been plenty of times where I just choose not to drink.
Yeah.
But at that time, I think it was just a fucking buildup of like everything.
Yeah.
Because I went to this festival and I was like so like old guy grumpy. Like I was like, oh, fucking kids. Like, so like, I was such a dick.
You were booming.
Yeah, I was full like boomer shit at that festival. I was just like looking at all these like teenagers at this festival. Like, grow up. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it's not that I think there's any need for one or the other for me personally. I'm like happy in this middle ground. Mm-hmm. The reason that I have been sober for 2 months, besides I had one cocktail at this hotel like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was visiting my friend, but besides that, I think since like 2021 I've drank 3 times. I think.
Damn.
Yeah, something like that. It's literally just because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm not doing anything.
For sure.
And I think that's like furthermore my point why like I don't necessarily I'm not like
hard yes or no.
Yeah, I'm not provoked to be like either straight edge or not or sober or not. It's because it's like I'm so when it's around me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this big gap has shown me that I just get sick when I get drunk.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Even if I'm not really drunk, like
for sure.
Straight up, sorry to cut you off.
No.
3 beers and I feel like fucking nauseous now.
Oh,
no idea why. No idea why.
Maybe just like tolerance. That's crazy though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like a digestive thing. Like it's like doesn't do well for my digestive system.
Yeah.
I'll not even be like like I've drank a lot in my life, but like I'll be like not even really be intoxicated.
Yeah.
And I will just be like, dude, I'm legitimately nauseous.
Huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like a health thing rather than like something that I would understand.
It's very inconvenient. I have no idea why it happens.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think we did a podcast at our lawyer's place a few months ago. It was like top of 2021. And we had like actually that time I did drink kind of a lot though. But like not like a lot. Like I think we had like 4 or 5 beers or something like that. And I was just like I had to dip early because like not before the podcast ended, but like after just hanging out. Because I'm just like, dude, like, I'm so nauseous.
Huh.
Not even that drunk, just so nauseous.
Damn.
Yeah, super weird.
That's crazy.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Wasn't like that when I was younger. But, you know, now I'm almost fucking 30.
When you were saying something about, like, just experiencing people's stories and, like, just to be able to, like, live vicariously through them.
Yeah.
I met someone this weekend who, Jacob Sumhard Co-Boston was, that's such a mouthful.
That's his whole name.
Jacob Sumhard Co-Boston Incorporated. he was vending and someone shared the table with him and she, I think person was non-binary, so I'm fucking that up. Yeah. But they were talking about all these experiences. I don't even know how you pronounce that correctly, but Berghain, the club in Berlin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Talking about like, they were like an OG like 90s raver and everything, and it was so cool to hear all the experiences and like like live vicariously through them. Like it was it made my night more than like all the things I would normally expect. Like just
that's my shit. I love that. I love that. Even if they're crazy shit that I like don't even like I mean, frankly, even if it's shit I don't agree with,
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I still want to hear it.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It's like the best version of people watching. I just like, I'm really fascinated with like, I'm really, really fascinated with just like life. Like, I guess like, fucking, what's the phrase for it? Like
philosophy? Or?
No, like chaotic happy or whatever. Like
like archetypes or like
like that
good,
kind
chaotic
of
neutral.
Exactly. Like I'm really like fascinated with just like a kind of border between me and chaos in like regular life and like it. Really, I'm just fascinated with the human experience. Yeah. But a lot of shit I don't personally want to I don't want to get my hands dirty.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think for me, it's like hearing those stories and just like when you really find like a unicorn out in the wild, I'm just like, I want to know everything about you.
Yeah.
Just like, I just want to know. Even if it's shit that like I don't agree with, I just want to know.
For sure.
You know?
I think that makes life richer because you kind of, just getting out of your element in a way like that, it just makes me feel small in a way like just hearing someone, especially this person I met was like 40 and just imagining someone that's almost twice my age, like just the amount of shit they've experienced and like how much of that I won't ever experience and like just the amount of potential and how like even on our limited finite planet like like virtually infinite amount of shit that you're never gonna understand. Like
exactly,
it's just crazy.
Exactly, like life is kind of just like this. You know, if you look at like the way that everything is perceived, it's just through like senses or whatever. So it's kind of like a movie. You know.
Yeah.
And my thing is like if you can find yourself in scenarios where the movie's just better, and more entertaining, then I'm like, that's the shit I really live for. Like every single time I go out partying, I always just like find this moment in the night where like my friends usually something goes down and everyone's like, dude, that was so fucking crazy.
Yeah,
wasn't that? Yeah. And I'm just like, this is my fallback, especially when I'm just like vibing. It's just like I am just a passenger, you know.
Dude,
like,
I'm just a vessel.
Yeah, I'm simply just a vessel here, and this is crazy. Yeah, that's the shit I really live for, and I think that's like at this point half of the reason that I'm an artist is like to both like perceive that, express it, and then see where that can take me. Like it's an all-encompassing thing. It's
totally
not, like I love creating, obviously that's like what the fuck I'm probably on this planet for or something like that, but the whole package is what I'm really obsessed with at this age.
I think that's important at any age, to be honest.
Because you have like a lot of people that are like 15 years old that have like never left their parents' house writing the best shit ever.
Yeah.
And I'm always just like, to me, it's not really about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily just like want to put on a song and just be like, wow. Yeah. It's like I want to know
who made this.
Yeah, like where'd this come from? Yeah. Why is this whole thing happening? You know, and even if they're like a vet in festival land and they're like they're writing it because they're like, yo, but this shit really bangs and I wrote this because I was at Fractal Forest and then I heard this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's even better than just like I don't know, a rando. You know what I mean? Like I want to know that it comes from a very like passionate place of interest and a real life experience, I guess.
For sure. I think and you can like see that from a mile away, like kind of when something is just a brand or it's just a hobby for someone or just how much of their self they're putting into it. And I really do think like, I mean, maybe that's just like the spectrum of like how much of an artist someone is. I think that's like sounds kind of pretentious, but like for me personally, like the music I make, like it comes from like the stories and things in myself that like my darkest, worst fucking memories or best feelings I've ever had, like trying to just like get that out of me and show that to someone in the form of a narrative, but like rather than like, oh, this is gonna go off and like the hennies are gonna go burr.
That's the thing though, is like even if it comes from a shallow place or a deep place,
it can still be good.
It's like I just want to know that it's real. I think a lot of electronic music especially just doesn't really, they're like really manufactured feelings, you know? That's like throwing shade or whatever. I don't really give a fuck. Yeah. It's just there's so much of that stuff out there where it's so like you're just imitating shit. You know,
yeah.
Super manufactured feelings. I like to hear stuff where it's like directly tied to a real human experience. Yeah. You know, or at least a real thing for a real reason. You know, it's just yeah.
I think that's like a benefit. I mean, the stage you're at in your career, or I think of someone like EPROM too. Like if you go and listen through, like you've just got enough of a catalog over time where you can see the evolution of someone.
Yeah.
And like you, for example, and I bring EPROM up as well, just because like you are both artists that are like stand out, just different from others.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's like you can just tell. Ambiance, hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. I think that's just funny, to be honest. Yeah.
But no, I think it's you can't tell who someone is, but you can see the change over time, and you can see that it's different, which just shows like I don't know what it was or why it's this way, but this person was clearly going through something or had or learned something where this changed, kind of thing.
I feel like with EPROM stuff, I feel like I'm listening to a scene, which like I dig. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the electronic music stuff that I do have a lot of respect for is a lot of it, like when it is even like geared towards like this shit bangs in like a live setting or whatever.
Yeah.
I like it when it's like that was birthed out of a culture.
Yeah.
Like you can tell with EPROM, for instance, like that guy really, really likes like underground electronic culture, you know, and so it's like, oh yeah, they're writing for that space because they're this like they're one of the veins of the whole fucking system of that culture, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the shit that I really like. Because it just sounds real, you know. That's another thing is it sounds super like genuine.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the same way I feel when I hear G Jones stuff, you know, like a lot of those guys.
It's not like good because it's different, but just the fact that it's different shows that it comes from a different place. I think those are two artists where it's just clearly a genuine thing, and especially because I've been around for a while.
I mean, I definitely do not want to. I definitely do not want to front on my own podcast. That I'm not gonna lie. I like that music about 10% as much as I like every other genre of music.
Really?
But honestly,
I love that shit.
But no, I do love that shit. That was over exaggeration.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that in the sense of like I dislike it by any means.
Yeah.
Like that's.
And if you did, it's not like that's a problem.
Right. That's still in the lane of like things I enjoy. But, like, because, of course, like, country and, like, honestly, pop punk are things that I don't... That gets negative points.
Yeah.
You know, but, like, in the grand scheme of things, talking about music coming from a genuine place, like, that's just why I really like metal. You know, that's why I really like... Or, like, hardcore in particular.
Yeah.
But that's why I really like, you know, like... I don't know, like really good rap too. Like like a lot of the shit Young Lean does. Like Corbin is another standout. There's so many artists. I think like in the grand scheme of music, my interest really falls in like I want to know it's fucking real. Like I want whatever like emotion, whatever yada yada. Like it's got to be raw and real as fuck. Even if it's being a shithead, even if it's everything. You know what I mean?
Or like violent or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that it's real is just like, for sure. There's just so much out there that's like you can't tell anymore.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's always been like that, but I feel like the internet's probably made that worse. But
I think there's indicators though. You know, like find shit out in the wild and you're like, dude, you're not. This is like you made this for them. That's how I feel about it. I'm like, if you're making music for them, whoever them is, you know, it's like that's not. I don't know. As I get older, that's like
not like doesn't have integrity.
Exactly. Yeah. As I get older, like that's my calling card. I feel to like good and bad art is like did you make this for them or did it come from you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah. That's some shit that I just like can't shake, especially recently, man. Recently.
I like am starting to experience that. Just like the dilemma in myself. Like feeling the pull and the desire to make things that I know more people are gonna like, just because I want to grow my project, but it's so important to me that I like stay honest That's the thing we like geeked out about Young Lean about.
Yeah.
Just how honest he. Did you watch the recent documentary? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude, when he was talking about like, or like just you go and listen to his music like Miami Ultras and shit like that, like, or what was that album with the red cover? I think it wasn't Warlord.
Demon.
Not Unknown Memory, but like.
Yeah, not Unknown Memory.
Maybe it was Warlord.
Yeah, Warlord has a red cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warlord.
Oh, Stranger.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
I think that's that one. I think that's the one he made when he was going through it. I could be like wrong, but not like someone's gonna correct me. But
yeah.
Like
keeping up with the whole discography.
Yeah, fuck, dude. It's not my job.
Yeah.
But it's so like some of it's really literal, and it's just so like, oh man, I can just relate to like having a bad trip or something, or like having just really rough psychological experiences. Like he expressed what that's like through his weird lyrics and his just wacky everything in a way that I like haven't been able to experience from someone else.
Yeah. It's at the part of the documentary near like the tail end. It's about like, I don't know, 3/4, 4/5 of the way through when he's wearing a dress in that old house and like Agony starts playing.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, because that's really full circle. That's when he kind of like is back to making art again, and like he has his head on his shoulders, and it's modern footage that they're showing. That was the part where I was like, you fucking genius. Like, you fucking genius. Because the whole time you're kind of like on edge being like, damn, like, I mean, I know you're making stuff, I know you're still releasing music, like, how does it get to that? And then that's when you see, like, you're like, and that's where you are now. Oh, man, you're fucking awesome.
Just in a dress, digging a hole in a field.
It's so good. So good.
Oh,
holy shit. I was so inspired, honestly.
Yeah.
So fucking great. Oh, yeah, he's kind of like a gem, honestly.
Yeah.
Him and Bones. I feel that same way about Bones. You know who I've been listening to a lot lately, though, is Night Lovell.
Fuck yeah, dude. I was like... Yeah, that's probably the only other dark or like that's when like SoundCloud rap was like cool in my opinion, was kind of when maybe like 2016, 2017, or I guess when I was listening to it more, but
I'm like
Night Lovell's crazy.
So good. Yeah. I'm on like the edge of Night Lovell right now. Like he just dropped an album. I'm
nice.
Like keeping up on it. Like
cool.
Legitimately he's probably my favorite rapper at the moment.
Nice. I'm gonna have to listen to his new shit.
Dude, it's so fucking good. It's like, here's the thing with all those guys. Like, yeah, like everyone who's been in it since like 2016 and they've been in like that scene for that time, they just start to like turn left and go further into whatever they choose to
their
go.
lane,
Yeah, like Puya's very like almost like pop Florida shit. And people just, I don't know, they go into their thing, right? Dude, Night Lovell just dug deeper, and it's exactly what I want. You're like, because that's the thing is like, I'm not trying to pigeonhole anyone into some shit. Never, you know? I'm here for artists getting weirder, but I gotta be honest, it is so fucking satisfying where I'm like, you just got more of that.
Oh my God.
That's all that happened. You just got more of that.
That's really cool.
Fucking great. So good.
Damn.
So good. And just the beats are so good, too.
That's, like, around the time I was getting into producing. I started making bass music in, like, I was always trying to make dubstep, basically. Yeah. But, like, in 2018, I just say that as, like, the blanket term.
Yeah.
But when I was, like, just really, like, I started a SoundCloud and, like, just figuring out, like, what this music thing is and enjoying it as a hobby. It's like kind of when I just like got into Suicide Boys, like, and just SoundCloud rap, like, fuck. Yeah. There's something, the beats was, and like not the lyrical content did and didn't matter. Like, it was all like dark and just like toxic shit, but like there's something about just that specific vibe where it just struck a chord with me and like super inspiring.
At the time, I'm like, you know, they're cool. And
now I'm like over it, but like specifically Suicide Boys.
At that time, well, for me it was 2016, and I think the thing with them is what I found is that it's not like it was anything I hadn't heard before.
Yeah.
Like I've been listening to like 666 Mafia and
Oh
shit.
yeah, so I wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
You were like a real hip hop DJ, right?
Yeah. For a super long time.
I was like not into rap. I was like a suburban white kid like, this is sick as fuck. They're spitting like.
Yeah. Well, the thing with them though that like stands out, I feel, is that it wasn't anything that was like brand new for me, but it was just so razor sharp. Like it was exactly that. There wasn't really any
wiggle room.
Curveball. Yeah, there wasn't wiggle room. There wasn't curveballs. It was like that's so exactly that sound.
Yeah.
Like what he's like essentially like Scrim.
Yeah, produces. Yeah.
So Scrim's like kind of ripping from just like DJ Paul, like almost to 3-6. He's ripping from like 666 to a point to where he's like doing it even more than they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's so exactly.
It's like beefed up, modernized for sure.
And so that's like what I found enticing about their shit is it was kind of like straight to the vein, you know? Like it was like this is just exactly that. Yeah. And there's not really, you don't really have to listen through a mixtape to find that shit that really bangs. It's like this is just every track, fucking song that they write. Yeah. Yeah, and so that was cool. I like went to 3 of their shows so far, I think, something like that.
I went to one in Chicago. It was fucking popping.
Yeah, the first one I went to was the best.
Yeah.
I was at this place called El Corazon in Seattle. And holy shit, man. Holy shit. What a fucking god damn, that was a party.
Yeah.
Shit was so crazy actually.
Yeah.
Like we were in the pit, all that shit. Like there were fucking I think there were people walking out just covered in blood and all that shit. Like I was like, this is fucking
it's
wild.
So lit.
Yeah. That was the first time I had experienced. That was the first time that I went to one of those shows and saw like, oh my god, you kids go hard. Like so fucking hard. Yeah, it was a good time. So we'd catch them when they were in Seattle. I didn't go to their Neptune show though. They played the show at the Neptune, I think in 2018.
Not familiar.
Neptune is like so they were playing at El Corazon, which is like a 600 cap venue. Okay. You know, it's like a venue. Neptune is like a theater. Okay. So they like played a show at the Neptune, and I think a girl died. Didn't go to that show. But what is this? You've been invited. Interesting. That is a day before I get my second vaccine. But yeah, so I didn't go to the Neptune show, but I went to the show that they played after that. They did like a G59 tour show at WAMU Theater, which is like it's like a massive, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
When I went, they had
like 5,000-6,000 person cap.
Nice. Something like that. When I went, they had Germ with them. I like haven't gotten into his stuff specifically, but their collabs with him are crazy.
I like Germ a lot. Yeah, he's got this song called Body Bag that's really sick.
I probably couldn't like name it, but I think it sounds familiar. Yeah. I feel like one thing with their music that and just like dark music in general is, I mean, that's like kind of lyrically as dark as, it's not as dark as it can get because there's like, of course, like black metal shit, but like that, I think listening to that music to the extent I was listening to it actually had a negative impact on my life. I think that's like something to be, it's weird. Like, I think saying blanket that any kind of music is bad isn't really a valid thing. It's kind of like, are you familiar with Hamilton Morris? Yeah. And what he says a lot of the time is just that there isn't a bad drug. It's just like your relationship with it. Yeah. I think with like, but it's like, yeah, but you should probably be fucking careful around ketamine because it is addictive. Right. You know, like that's the same thing with like suicidal rap. Is like, dude, you can't listen to that like every day when you're just driving in the car, in my opinion, or I can't. Like, yeah, like you are. It encourages it. It's
leaning into the idea of like self-deprecation, you know? And it's just like, I'm not even like on some toxic positivity shit. I openly hate a lot of shit. You know what I mean? But that's the thing with that where I'm just like, that's just arbitrary at that point. That's like bringing in more negative stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, cause it's like that scene as like the archetypes of that scene is just like so fucking toxic.
Yeah, it's chaotic evil.
Yeah, it's chaotic evil, exactly. And I get it, dude. Like, I get it. Like, life is fucking boring. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to spice it up, but it's like...
Not in the way that just destroys everything around you.
Yeah. I always think with that shit, like, I ain't holier than thou or whatever, but, like, personally, I always just think with that shit, like, if you make it out of that, you are just gonna regret so much of that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
that's kind of where I'm coming from personally. Like, I was like would spend money on FTP clothing, and like, not that that's a bad thing to do in general, but it's an indicator.
Yeah.
Has your son been listening to Suicide Boys?
That's funny. It's mainly the drugs and this negativity.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like, I got into that and I got super depressed, and like, I'm just using that as like an example because it's like how I was expressing myself, and I would like make those kind of beats, but I was into the culture because I'm like, oh, it's like, this is a thing that like I could be like, these guys are really cool, they're selling out shows and doing this, and like, it's music, it's dope, and I'm starting to like, you know, download Memphis samples off of Reddit and like enjoy myself like in a new way. But it's like, I don't know, I think at the end of the day it's just like someone that's going through that themselves personally is expressing themselves out into the world, and then people are getting attracted to that and thinking that they want to be where it comes from.
Yeah. I think like, man, I think like we can't act like nothing glamorizes suicide. Like what I'm saying is like, you can't, as a society, like you can't, I don't think, actually, I don't know shit. I can't arbitrarily speak on anyone's shit. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But for me personally,
that's important.
Yeah, it's important. But for me personally, like I can't pretend that like everything is steers and is free of the phenomenon of glamorizing suicide.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the fallback where it's like there's always like kind of like a mental gymnastics conversation where it's like, you know, Suicide Boys and Peep and all those people are talking about killing themselves a lot and using drugs to like numb the pain, but that's like easing through it and all this shit, and that's like, it's cathartic. It's not, because like literally like these people, I can't even front. I just like can't even bullshit. These fucking kids, like young kids that don't have a lot of life experience, like they hear that and it straight up glamorizes it. Yeah. And I get like that's some old head shit to say. I'm not unaware of it. I get, but I'm not gonna fucking I can't like bullshit that. You know what I mean? Like you see it.
I think it's objective. Like it's
I mean you see it out in the real world and it's just like, oh my, like you're making it cool. Like suicide should not be fucking cool. No. And then the thing is like the people always say like, no, it's dark and I really feel this way.
Or
it's like, I don't doubt that you do.
Yeah.
But I do think, I can speculate that maybe, just maybe, hear me out, if you didn't spend 3/4 of your fucking days in fucking listening to people talk about killing themselves, maybe you would be like a little bit less intrigued with the idea of killing yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, that's like fucking anything, dude.
Yeah.
If I was surrounded, like, I hate red wine, but if I lived at a fucking vineyard, I'd probably start to love red wine. You know what I mean? It's just, that's basic psychology.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what you're around.
Exactly. That's how humans work. You just fucking digest and fucking grow with what you're around.
Yeah.
I get being intrigued by it because it's like, that's also the thing, is it's like that's that's real art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think humans are intrigued by art that comes from a genuine place. Like I was just talking about that. You know, but I think for a lot of these people that was the first version of that they found. Yeah. That was super relative.
Yeah, and raw too. Yeah. And just like, it's shocking too, so it has that initial, like, it's like horrorcore in a way. So it gets your attention really quick, and then you can go deep into it really fast.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm just like, yo, self-awareness is all which like is so fucking hard to have if no one tells you, if you have no reason to have self-awareness, you know what I mean, then it's impossible to find
it doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Exactly.
Unless someone like, I don't know.
Something kicks your ass.
I was gonna say, like, for me, that's only ever happened when life kicks my ass.
Yeah.
I think, like, ideally, I would hope that there's, like, someone who can be just, like, a graceful enough teacher that catches you at the right point to where they can, like, teach you self-awareness and whatever else you might need at the time. But I think that point always comes after a good ass kicking.
Yeah. I still don't know if I'm self-aware. I'd like to think that I have good self-awareness. But I still, that's kind of the caveat with that, is you don't really, you would never know.
Do you meditate at all? Yeah, or like, that's the same thing as free will. It's like, what's your evidence that it does exist?
Exactly.
Beyond feeling like it happens.
Exactly. Like, I'd like to think that I know myself, and I know, and I understand where and why I feel a lot of things, but that's the thing, is like, do you really, you wouldn't know if you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're only aware of what you're aware of.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't meditate as much as I used to. I used to meditate like every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about that whole glamorizing suicide thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like not aware, or I mean, I'm not unaware that is some real like Russ ass shit. Like that, you know.
What do you mean? I know who he is, but what do you mean by that?
That's like why, like, that's why, like,
why they're big?
I know. That's why, like, the younger generation of hip hop, like, fucking hates that dude.
Yeah.
Because they're like, bro, like, what do you, like, our dad? Like, you know, who gives a shit? And that's the thing, is like, do whatever the hell you want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just like, I just can't even.
Oh, it's some Russ ass shit to like be a boomer about it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like being a boomer about it. Yeah. That's the thing. It's just, for me personally, I can't, my line, and like, dude, with drugs, honestly, like, I personally, I am not fucking sipping lean at the age of 15, you know? I mean, I've drinking lean, but like not at the age of fucking 15.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's your life. That's not even like, I have fucking zero will to say anything about that. But when it comes to specifically suicide and like leaning in to like toxic like mental health shit, I'm like, yeah, no, I can't pretend like that's like a like that's like a passive point. Like, no, it's not cool. You know what I mean?
And but that's the thing too. It's like, what are you gonna do about it? I guess like I'm the kind of person that like, I think we're both of the same belief of just that people should be able to express themselves however they see fit. But I'll definitely do my expressing myself here by saying like, I don't like seeing people putting stuff out there that brings people to hurt themselves or to do things that are gonna make their life worse and harder in the long run. So I'm with you there. And like, I personally was one of those kids, like, that just, I had shit going on, but like, there was no good reason for me to like try Xanax or something, you know? But I did because of music. And like, I'm lucky that like shit has pulled me out of that part of my life, but like, never would want to go back or wish that on anyone, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, try riding a fucking bike, man. Like, like with all these like, all the fucking kids on the internet that just fucking dive into that, like, that's all.
Ride a bike, literally.
Yeah, they like just fucking talk about how, like, yo, I respect it if it's from a real place, but like, I ain't talking about the people that are really going through it.
Yeah.
It's like, the people that fucking dive into that whole shit, talk about how much their life sucks all fucking day and shit. I'm like, literally, have you tried riding a bike? It's a blast.
You ever had like, this is gonna make me sound like a piece of shit, but like, you ever had like green juice before?
Yeah,
like how your stomach feels after that? Like,
like, go get a massage. I don't know, dude.
Shit.
Yeah, go
to the beach.
Yeah, fucking go to the beach. Yeah, that's a good one. Fuck.
Here we are, like two pale cave dwellers telling people to go outside.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm
sorry.
That was derogatory, but
no, I'm still pretty pale, but I got a little bit of color. It's because I jog every day. That's the thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I bet I definitely just like projected that on you. Like, I just see like, you look somewhat like me and have a studio set up similar to how I live my life, so I just assume naturally that you're like me and stay inside all day. But
dude, I was watching, I skimmed past my fatalism live stream the other day. I was like trying to do whatever. Like, I was watching it because I was trying to dig something up. But
nice. I think I actually watched that recently. I was like stalking you on YouTube, and I think I found that.
Hell yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, dude, I'm so pale in that shit. I'm just so pale and tiny. It's so funny because I'm just like, oh man, that was in the thick of it. That's when I was like the deepest in the cave. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
That's just kind of where I'm at now, like doing design work and trying to put as much into music as I can at the same time. It's like, I just don't have a whole lot of time right now to go out and enjoy myself. It's important, like, got to do it at some point.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Fuck, dude. Now I'm worried. Like, someone's gonna be like, "Sorry, we can't all just go ride bikes, Connor." Fuck.
Most people can. That's a pretty low accessibility threshold.
I have a lot of respect for people that are going through it, dude. Like, that's not.
Oh, like that's gonna fix all their problems.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I'm very aware mental health issues are extremely common. Like, I've gone through them, and I've gone through gnarly shit in the past. I know a lot of people that can't escape it, and that shit I truly have empathy for. Yeah. Not talking about them. Yeah. That's the thing. That shit it's fucking demons for real. I get it.
And there's people where they're like the circumstances around them, like completely trapped, like just where like there's nothing that person could do to like bootstrap themselves or something, you know? Dude, like so I want to acknowledge that too. Like,
dude, like I listen to like a lot of those like no, I don't actually commonly listen to it, but when listening to a lot of those like Gary Vee type entrepreneur casts, I'm like, dude, I like part of me like not wishes, but I'm like you can't say the same shit to like a 13-year-old like crack baby. Like you can't say this, you know what I mean? Like you can't say this shit to like a fucking 13-year-old whose mom is addicted to meth. Like and they're just like there's situations where it's like, dude, you need help. You know what I mean? Like there's not every situation can just willpower out of it. Yeah. That's just not true. And there's also psychology to it too, where it's like if something sucks so bad that you want to give up, there's like God himself wouldn't not want to give up in those situations. Like there's like this kind of threshold, you know what I mean? Yeah. To where it's like sometimes things are just so bad that like you need help because there's no willpower that can get you past that.
For sure.
Yeah, not that I've been through something personally that's lasted like that for an extended period of time, but some people that's like their fucking life, and it's just like, oh my god, I can't even fathom it. My condolences for those situations, man.
For sure.
Yeah. So with that, it's like I get it. You know what I mean? With that, it's like I entirely get it. Yeah. But you know,
have you ever like, you're just talking about like will and like willpowering yourself through things. You ever like, dude, I haven't read. There's a book I want to read by Sam Harris just called Free Will. Yeah. I think I've listened to most of the like excerpts from it. Do you know who Sam Harris is? No. Oh, okay. Well, he's like a neuroscientist and sort of modern philosopher, but I use his meditation app and he goes deep. But I listened to his whole thing on free will and it was like just like a course. The first audio was like a disclaimer, like if you find this like particularly disturbing, just don't listen to it. Yeah. But yeah, it's just going into the concept of determinism and just that like just like thinking about it on like a base level, like where is the evidence that I actually like make my choices?
Dude, I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, that's like
me neither.
Yeah, that's like that's one of many subjects in life that is just like beyond. You can think about it just all day.
Yeah, and there's also that's the thing too.
It's like infinite, where it's like I mean it's a paradox. So it's like I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm definitely maybe there's nothing left for me to think about there, but it's just fascinating to me.
That is super fascinating. It's funny, man. Like a lot of philosophical shit, I just always fall back on. I mean, I talk shit sometimes, like a dick, like at the past, half an hour. But like. But no, like, I mean, like, the vast majority, especially with, like, philosophical shit and especially with, like, existential shit, I always, like, find myself just looping back around to where it's, like, I actually just want to, like, sit in silence and be an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, where it's, like, a lot of times I'm just, like, I don't know. And then I just continue. You know what I mean? Like
that's kind of how I am, to be honest, with, like, political things in general. It's, like... I'm so not an expert on how the world works, how even the political system itself works. Like, I want to, like, do my best to do the right thing, but just even for me to, like, just decide to be, like, good at what I do and, like, improve myself and also have fun with my friends and enjoy things, like, man, I don't think I would have an educated, just, like, opinion on these things, even if I spent all day, like, researching it. Maybe I would, but, like... I'm so ignorant, and it's kind of willfully, but
I always just I kind of fall back on one thing is that like I don't know if
dicey.
I mean like I do I mean the thing is this fundamentally speaking what I realized like at a pretty like I don't know like in my early 20s my mom is like pretty she's intelligent. Like woke isn't the right word because she's not into fucking all that shit.
Yeah.
Like she's like intelligent,
rational,
very 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 rational,
cool.
and whatnot. And the thing I realized at like in my early 20s is that when you kind of break it down fundamentally, there seems to be two like basic agendas on each side. All right, on each side is like there's like fear and protection, and then there's empathy, and like almost every decision that those parties make, like you can hear that and guess which ones I'm talking about. But every decision that those parties make, when you go down the rabbit hole and be like, why did you decide that this to this to this, they fundamentally always fall under the category of fear and protection or empathy, you know. And the thing is like, on that subject, if I'm ignorant on the purpose, which I more often am than not, you know, I take the empathy side. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing is I'm just because you can't.
That's personality types though too.
Yeah,
like, people don't even like. Do people even decide what like party or ideology they want to attach themselves to? It's like,
I think if they understood the motives fundamentally they would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think people just have like a proclivity to think about things a certain way though too. Like I think people that want to like be aggressive or protect something or take something from someone else are doing it, you know, just because they think it's right, you know?
Well, yeah, that's the caveat to it is
that's what's crazy. Neither, and like it makes sense to go both ways looking at it from a relative scope, you know?
Exactly. Like, neither of those stances are ethically wrong.
Yeah.
Certain nuances and actions that both sides take are often ethically wrong.
Yeah.
Often. But it's the fundamental mission that I kind of, like, lean towards empathy, you know? Yeah. Because it's just, like, I just don't... I mean, it's like an ideology thing where it's like, are you living in fear? Are you living for the sake of defense, or are you living for betterment? You know, and like I just like choose. I don't know. I like proactivity. I like betterment. I like positivity as opposed to that kind of thing.
It's really funny how like we just took like a telescopic wand around that conversation and just like poked, like we went so abstract that we're just like just stay far away from this while also talking about it.
Yeah, because I don't like to bicker about nuanced shit. Not that would happen with you. I just mean with fucking anyone that would listen to this. Yeah. I was like, I don't like to bicker about this stuff because this goes back to the, like, I'm an idiot. Like, I don't know shit. You know what I mean? Like, none of us really know shit. Yeah. And so when these arguments start going in circles and stuff, I'm like, you're going to catch me in some bullshit. I'm going to catch you in some bullshit. Yeah. It's fucking pointless. Yeah. It's a lot of time wasted, and then you just walk away hating each other more. Yeah. You know? I have this thing. I just really like firmly believe in like ignorance is bliss. Not that I want to be dumb. Yeah. I make a point to stay educated in what I care about, even if I don't talk about it. I'm more or less like pretty educated in the majority of shit that I talk about. But I have this thing with like ignorance being bliss, especially in dialogue, where it's like witnessing a murder. You know, if you're not even fucking okay. If you are driving, like, as a Domino's delivery guy, and the guy that you, like, pull up to, you just witness, like, a bullet go through his brain. Yeah. They make a fucking Picasso on the wall with this motherfucking gray matter. No, but yeah.
Lyrics right there.
Yeah, right. No, if you witness, like, someone get killed as a Domino's driver, just being there now makes you affiliated with it. You have to go through loads of shit. You have to be a witness. You have to... Just because you were there. Wrong place, wrong time. You know what I mean? And so, my thing is like, yeah, but if you just didn't do that delivery route, if you weren't working that day and you didn't witness that murder, you're good. You're morally great.
Yeah.
But because you witnessed it, if you don't testify, there's moral weight on what you do. You can be a good or a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like, I choose not to be the guy in the room at all. Yeah. I don't want to be a good or bad guy. I just like would prefer to do my shit.
That's a really eloquent way to express that. I feel the same way about that shit.
Right, man.
That was cool.
Yeah, but that's just fucking every argument on the internet, man.
Yeah.
That's probably, I almost guarantee I'm gonna get shit because of that Lil Peep stuff. Dude, I like Lil Peep, alright?
Me too! I do.
No, I do really like Lil Peep stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know about all that. But I like his music, and that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know shit.
Well, that's why I care enough to talk about it too, really, because it's like my own dilemma. So
yeah, I mean, fuck, man. The ultimate irony in that stuff is, even in saying that, the end of that story is that dude died from Xanax. You know what I mean? That literally is like how do I put it? That's a human imposed thing that happened. He didn't rap about all this really miserable shit and then get struck by lightning one day.
It's
like
it's directly correlated.
Yeah, directly correlated. So I don't even think like that. My fucking smart ass mouth needs to be the martyr to like try to convince kids not to fucking do it. It's like or like whatever to convince kids to feel a certain fucking way.
Yeah.
Or people.
And I also know that just doesn't work like that.
It just doesn't work that way. Yeah, exactly. Fundamentally, and so it's like all you gotta really do is look at what went down. That should be a clear enough indicator, you know?
For sure.
Regardless, off that subject, I'll shut up.
I didn't think... I mean, I had no expectations, but it's funny that we rabbit holed on that. I haven't it's not like I've been thinking about that a lot recently or anything.
I haven't either. I'm just this is my...
Free flow here.
Yeah. It's my brain just shooting off bullshit. I should be talking about the shows that I'm gonna play or something. I don't know.
It's a good idea. Got something coming up.
I haven't DJ'd in so long. Yeah, I haven't DJ'd since August of last year.
Damn.
Yeah, I had a drive-through in Denver.
Oh, cool. That's
rad.
sick.
Yeah, it was pretty rad. I think I talked about it on another one, but there were like over 1,000 people there. It was like a big show, and there was like all these cars, but because like the photos of it, because like it's crazy because I'm on this massive stage. There's this like 100-foot screen behind me playing my visuals and shit. It's huge.
It's awesome.
And then it shows the other side, and all you see is like emptiness for like 100 feet, and like this dude like hit me up and he's like, man, I'm so sorry, like that show didn't go how you might have wanted it to. And I was like, dog, what are you talking about? And then I looked at the photo and I'm like, oh yeah, if you didn't look deeper at this, like it would just look dead as fuck.
Like there's just no one there.
Yeah.
Or the parking lot.
Exactly. You're just looking at a parking lot. But it's like, no, it was packed. It was a good ass time.
That's cool. Did people honk or anything like that?
Yeah.
That's lit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if that would be annoying or sick. I feel like if anything, that'd be just exciting. So it's like, oh, they're digging it. Like,
well, they have respect enough not to honk during the music, you know?
Okay.
But that's like the applause.
Yeah.
Is you're like, you feeling this?
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. It was a really fun time. How did the show? So I like am so fucking in and out. Where did you play again just now?
It was this festival thrown by Neon Events. They've been doing like warehouse stuff, like definitely a lot of house shows. But I played the base stage. They did an outdoor one called Oasis.
Yeah.
And dude, it was sick. The headliner was like Autograph on this house stage, and then there was like, it was actually really like the spot was crazy. I felt bad, but there were like farm animals in pens, like kind of just sprinkled throughout the grounds.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure they weren't having the best time, but
yeah,
it was a really cool festival. But yeah, I played this bass stage and it was down in like this like stone kind of area. Hard to explain, but
yeah,
it was really cool. It was probably the highest production event that I've played yet.
Oh shit, that's sick.
It was pretty crazy, yeah. And
damn, that's sick.
Like, yeah, it was my first show like with an LED wall and like
nice,
just everything done proper. Like, it was really cool.
I hope they don't I hope cannons leave.
What, the cameras?
Scene. No, cannons.
Oh.
The
light
CO2.
fixture?
CO2
oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want those anymore, actually.
Like fixed ones or people with the gun?
The fixed ones.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I back in... That was way more of a thing in like...
You're going to have to explain your opinion here.
2017. That was like way more of a thing. I like fog. I like
Fog is tight.
Fog is super tight.
Well, it's just like it's a really club, like it's like a Swedish House Mafia vibe with cannons. Okay.
Yeah. And they were really, really, like, that was super common with shows that I was playing in like 2016 and 17 and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's like a rush at the time.
Yeah.
But every single time I look back on those moments and listen to them, yeah, like that completely destroys what's happening.
Yeah, you can't hear anything.
You can't hear fucking anything. Yeah.
Pyro's cool because it's just a whoop.
Exactly.
And it's done. Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds natural. That's like
they're so loud.
But they're so loud. And that's all you can hear. And so every single drop that I've witnessed where like CO2 cannons went off or like was playing, it's just like
it ruins the good part.
Yeah, completely ruined the good part. Yeah.
That's so funny.
I'm not into them. I know it seems like a form over function thing or what. Yeah. How'd your set go? What have you been playing lately?
It was good. It's like I like sprinkle originals through, but
yeah,
I played some unreleased. I actually had this. I think I kind of cleared the floor a little bit, but I was playing like this just like 128 BPM just breaksy stuff. It's not even like it's break beat, but it's like almond break old school shit. And it was really... Are you familiar with Rido, the techno guy? Or he has this alias Otira, and he does like crazy happy hardcore, but also just super rave inspired stuff. And I played just like a little bit of that, but that was like important to me to play.
Nice.
But I kind of just started doing mostly like hype, weird bass, trap stuff, and then cycled like from like 128 all the way up, and then ended in drum and bass. And like I ran out of music, which was great because I just freestyled, and like that was the best part of the set. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it was so much more fun because
I
was just switching between halftime drum and bass, and like I could see like I was a little bit of a lull. Like, let's pick something weird. Like, let's change it up, and that was that definitely like taught me something. Just because since I'm pretty new to it, and especially playing at bigger events, I want everything to be like to the T, really perfect. And, you know, I'm not having fun when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And the whole point is me having fun so everyone else can have fun kind of thing.
Yeah, I like freestyling. Because the shows that I have booked right now are not... they're not like me shows.
Yeah.
Like they're
DJ
festivals.
sets.
Yeah. So I'm doing DJ sets, and that's all I really have since like I started DJing. I think I just freestyle. The only time I ever planned a set, it was like really boring. Like I was going back to back with someone, and we planned it song by song, and it was like my overwhelming feeling was like, yeah, we could have just freestyled something better.
Yeah.
To be honest. But yeah, no, I think it's really fun. I like doing that shit a lot.
Yeah.
I don't use sync, although and it's not because I have a thing against it. It's because it's so much more moronic than that. It's because I'm not 100% confident
in how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fair. It's not always. It's weird.
Yeah. So I've DJ'd for a long time. I've used CDJs many times, but I don't want to get it wrong and go by tractor rules on accident.
Oh,
or something like that. So I just eyeball it every time and do it by ear and shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm I don't want to mess up that little
leave it up to the tech.
Yeah. Because it's another moving part. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want to.
I definitely, I was doing a planned out set with sync, and it was like, just because I'm moving tempo. Well, what I really like to do is like have two things synced, and then during a breakdown, like just fucking slow it the fuck down, and then have both tracks doing that. That's what's cool with sync.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just because I want everything to be really tight.
Yeah.
But I think definitely what I want to do is have some really like sweatily composed edits and drop mashups and shit together, but really freestyle it. Like
that's what I think I'm gonna do for these. As I think I'm just gonna make like 20 little edits or something like that, and then all the other music and shit, and just wing it. To be honest, because there's some shit that I want to do that's like too weird to just DJ. Off top. So. Yeah, I don't want to freestyle those ideas because it's like.
Well, then I mean that's just like no one's happy if like the transition gets fucked up. It's better if it's just like always gonna work,
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know, man. I am gearing up to Trainwreck this summer. I am so ready for it. Yeah, I haven't DJ'd in a minute. I fucked around at my buddy Eric's house like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, granted, he had an XDJ. He had a version of XDJs that I've never used before. I've only used the old XDJs. He had like the new one, and I was like,
those are always difficult, and they have hella latency. In my opinion, like the latency is like they're not worth using.
Yeah, that was weird about that. Is that had like an exceptional amount of latency. Yeah, and they switched up. It's because they moved the selector knob on the new ones.
Did they?
Yeah, they moved it to like on the mixer in the middle.
Oh yeah.
That's as like opposed to the side of the screen.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of live streams on the old XDJs, and every single transition I'd reach up and be like, oh yeah, fuck. Like I just couldn't get it in my brain not to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I train wrecked.
You have like a load A, load B.
Yeah.
You train wrecked?
Oh yeah, but I mean, I wasn't doing anything. I was just like freestyling. But I train wrecked like 3 times and was like, "Whoo, dude, I need to practice."
Yeah, for sure.
Something like that.
It's so easy to spend all the time making stuff, not playing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably pretty true to form because I haven't actually worked on music in like months.
Really? Yeah. You've been making new fucking 3D, dude.
Yeah, I've been making a lot of art. Some of it not 3D. But yeah.
Well, your visual art. What you posted like this week. Well, I think maybe it was like your stories, like just your in progress stuff, but like, dude, the amount of work you push out in that level of quality is like just obscene to me.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's Unreal Engine. And I'm doing it on a 2080 Ti, but that shit is working for its money, dude.
Nice.
I think it's actually breaking now. I think it's like at the end of its days. This is gonna go right back into nerdy shit.
Let's go.
Yeah, I did this video in Octane for my roommate, and I rendered it one night. Come back the day after I had to fix something, so I come back, render it again, and it literally like I did not change a fucking thing. All I changed in the scene was the color of a light. That was the only thing I wanted. I was just like, I'm not feeling that. So I changed the color of a light, and it was rendering at like, dude, like easily like 10% of the speed. And weirdly enough, samples, same amount. It looked as if it was rendering half the samples.
When it was done?
Yeah, when it was done.
Did you, perhaps, what kind of light was it?
I mean, all I was doing, so it was a fucking,
was it an emissive texture? Or was
it wasn't an emissive texture. It was like it was an area light, but it had an image on it. Here's the thing, though.
Because that's, like, I feel like that's where shit can get weird. Like, if you accidentally loaded, like, an HDR image or something, and then, like, the ceiling of the light was, like, super bright, then it could have been fucking up your scene, but...
This is what's weird, though. So I kept my sample rates the same on both the lights, or on all of my lights in the scene. But I went, for the sake of having a control group, I went back and brought in the old image texture. Same shit.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I'm like researching about it. I'm like, why would that happen? Like, why would one day it render like that and then the next day it'd be different? And all the forums on Otoy, on Octane were like, well, if you're using different gear, that can happen. And I'm like, I'm not using different gear, but...
Is my gear different now?
Exactly, is my gear different now? So I think my graphics card is like, I think my guess would be not accidentally, but I ran it overclocked for a really long time, not really thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like that render was like an 11-hour render and it was overclocked the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of just like, whether it be enough dust collected or whatever, it just got to a point to where that overheated it to a point to where it like fried some cells on it or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And like, that's that, which to me, mechanically that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why it would say X amount of samples are being rendered when it looks like it's half the samples. Because I'm like, well, if the actual cells on the fucking disc,
that doesn't
on the platter, are like fried, like it might register as that, like it ran,
like think it.
Yeah,
did it
exactly.
properly?
Yeah, like
It
it thinks that it processed those, but they were actually like they're fucking fried cores or whatever. You know, like I guess that's what
that makes sense.
I think that's what it would be. Is like there's some of because it has like fucking how it's 600 cores or I don't know how many fucking
CUDA cores or tensor cores.
Yeah, I don't know how many those have, but like to me it would make sense if a lot of them fried out, because then it would be like, yeah, we ran this sample through this core and it's good to go, but it was broken, you know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's my theory, and there may be actually I guarantee no one in the comments will know the answer to that
if they're even still listening or know what we're talking about.
Exactly, but
I really hope there's one person that like makes forum posts and would just shit on us right now and leave a very explanatory comment. It's probably rare, but that'd be hilarious.
Honestly, I'd love that, because if someone in the world could explain to me why that would happen, I'd love to hear it. And every single time they're gonna go back, like I posted about that in the Octane user group, and like every time they're gonna go back in a user error, and like I don't really every fucking time, and I don't really have the heart to be like, dude, like I've been using this shit for like 3-4 fucking years, man. Like I know this shit.
Yeah, I ran upload your scene in your crash log.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm like I get what I'm doing.
Yeah, like what version are you using?
Just
come on.
Oh man, that was a crazy thing too. No drivers changed, nothing. No updates.
GPUs are scary, dude. Yeah. GPUs do scary things, and now they're even scarier because they're 4 times the price of what they were, or like 2.
Thank you, scalpers.
Is it also? I think it's also the supply chain though, right?
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Well, it's like there's like a shortage of silicone, which is crazy. But there's that, but it's like I think it's so much more amplified by scalping.
Really?
Yeah, well,
that is so disappointing.
Yeah, it sucks. Cuz previous to this, like if you think about it historically, dude, graphics cards never fucking hit StockX. They never were resold like that. It's like a whole social thing now. Yeah, exactly. It's because that industry, you know what I think it was, is that technology made such a leap on this last one. Yeah. So 2080 Ti's are 1080 Ti to 2080 Ti.
It's like 4 of them, right?
No, not even. It's like 1.8.
Oh, okay.
So a 1080 to Ti to a 2080 to Ti is like 1.8 performance boost.
Oh, but the 3090.
The 3090 is like 2.5 times. Okay. Like, which is fucking like
that's ridiculous.
That's 6 1080 Ti's. Yeah, it's like
2.5 times that?
Yeah, it's 2.5 times a 2080 Ti. And so you can like quantify this shit. NVIDIA has not made a jump in tech.
It's the best graphics card of all time, right?
Right, so they haven't made a progressive jump that big for that price range in over a decade. That's facts. Like someone quantified this and they were like, oh, if you break it down, it's been over 10 years since they've just made this egregious jump without such a huge
value for this, like almost the same price.
Exactly.
And like last year, especially not last year, but when they released like the Super line and everything, like everyone was pissed because like they were like not marking things up, but like you weren't getting that much more for your money.
Yeah. No.
But like this, that's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. So I think what happened was many people were wise enough to be like, yeah, so this is gonna sell like fucking hotcakes. This is a big deal, you know. And then that mixed with like mining is obviously like way more popular because that's capitalism and the fucking the boom of everything. So I think it was just kind of like this fucking what's the word for it, like perfect storm of shit. Yeah, that caused that to happen. And now 3090s are like $3,200.
Dude,
some shit.
It's very practical.
Sucks. I want 2 of them is like my dream right now, and like I can sit there and fucking change my tax bracket and get that if I want, but I prefer not to do that, you know. I could just ball the fuck out like an idiot and be like, 10 grand. 10
full
grand.
send.
Yeah, full send. I'm not really prepared to do that, especially like the moral hit for me.
Oh.
Where I'm like, dude, these retail at $1,600. Like,
yeah, that's the other thing that like holds me back. I mean, like I'm not ready to buy another component right now, but it's like it's just more frustrating that it is scalped.
It's fucked. Super fucked. Yeah, I got my processor on StockX though. I pulled the trigger. Yeah.
I mean,
because it was that was the last step to building the NAS, the second computer. So, because I only had one processor, and I was like, I want this one specifically.
Yeah.
So I just overpaid for it, but
gotta do it sometimes.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy. The difference was only like $300, you know. Okay. Whereas like 1080 or the 3090, the difference is fucking $1,300 fucking dollars, dude. Like that's insane. You're buying like two of them.
It's just what sucks is that.
Oh, I take that back. Sorry to cut you off. It's $1,700 is the difference. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. What is bullshit about that is that now it's like. It's a fucked up analogy. Please, no one persecute me for this, or do it if you want to. But like, it's like 9/11. Like we didn't know we needed to protect airplanes until someone crashed one into a fucking building.
Yeah.
Now, there's no coming back from scalping graphics cards. No one's gonna stop.
Yeah, it's like...
Also, I was fucked. I'm sorry.
No, I see what you're saying. They, like, opened up Pandora's box.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
It was just like, yeah, this is what people are doing now, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, which... Oh, it's so fucked up. Hell yeah, dude. See, I don't know what it is, man. First time I got the fucking Cam Link, I couldn't get that thing to record.
It's still running, though?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I couldn't get it to record for more than, like, 5 minutes. I don't know.
Dude, I worked in video for a little while, and it's just voodoo. And, like, I have a friend who's just pretty damn experienced with all the gear and tech, and he's mainly like an editor and like film creator, director, but like he just in his line of work and where we were working, we needed to figure out a lot of AV stuff.
Yeah.
And we would deal with capture cards and like in SDI to HDMI converters and like Blackmagic gear up the ass and all these switchers and everything.
Yeah.
And there's always the component of just straight voodoo that like, it's just like, you ever heard of Corridor Digital?
Yeah.
They have this joke on their channel where they talk about Dobie, the patron saint of jank. And there's just a jank element to anything like tech like that.
Yeah, it's like fucking the Deus Ex. You're just like, I don't know, man. Just Hail Mary.
Fuck it.
Yeah, we'll put it, yeah. No,
let's just throw money at it. That's how you fix it.
Seriously, that's how I feel with like a lot of visual shit in general, dude. Like, so much of it is just like I don't fucking just send it.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens. I mean, I think like even like in the box stuff, like Unreal is so much of that, dude.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine because it's so so like lid off on it. I don't really know how else to put it. It's like everything is like fucking openly just gas in the tank firing. You know what I mean? It's just super. I don't know. It's
just
raw.
like how it's set up, or just
the way Unreal works, like under the hood, is super like it. When you tell it to go, it's using literally 100% of all of your cores. Like it's very like. Very like
it's like geared towards production and like it's professional. It's not like gonna save your computer. It's meant to like push what you can do.
Exactly. It's super like it's just fucking when it goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not really a mystical like. There's not a lot of caps on this. There's not a lot of safety nets. It's like
that's cool.
It fucking blasts. And so anyway, like when it comes to that, there's a shitload of crashes. It's extremely buggy. As a whole, especially if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know like the contingencies of everything, super buggy. And so a lot of times, especially when I was making Legacy and learning the hiccups around it, it was so much just like pissing in the wind, just like fucking I'll send this shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let this like fucking fry my graphics cards right now, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we'll just pray to God that this works and that it looks good on the other side. There's so much of that.
I think
so much of that.
It sounds crazy. I think that applies even in less complicated, like using C4D and Octane. Like,
well,
definitely, I'm sure less just based. And I don't know anything about Unreal, but like I've had experiences where it's like doing simulations, for example, where it's like I don't know how long this is gonna take. Like that's mostly just stemming from my inexperience, but like I'm just gonna cache this. I'm gonna do this. Like I want this piece of cloth to turn into strings, and then can I make it spin after that's done or whatever? Like, I don't fucking know, but like, just try. Like,
yeah.
It'll crash a million times, but
a lot of it, I mean, C4D is a lot of it is kind of like under the, it's like, it's in, how the fuck do I put that? It's like, has it inside a safety net.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Like a lot of it is like when you tell it to do something, you're like, with me personally, especially with simulations, you look at your task manager, you look at what's happening, I'm like, why, like literally how do I make this do more? Like it's using 20% of 2 cores.
Yeah.
Like I 100% want this to just rip my fucking computer apart. Like tear that shit up. I don't care.
I never think about it like that.
And so Octane especially like works, and Octane is fucking weird, dude. It's like it uses like a secret fucking box inside your graphics card. Because if you look at your all your specs on your graphics card when you're rendering like the gnarliest shit on Octane, there's no read at all anywhere.
There's no what?
There's no read. It says nothing's happening like with your graphics card.
Huh.
Straight up with me on like Task Manager, all that shit. You go into performance and all that shit. Yeah. Nothing's happening with my graphics card.
I think that's just a bug. Because I swear I've looked at just like GPU, just like the graph and just seen it just like pinned.
It's crazy. I mean,
it's been a while.
Yeah, VRAM, yes, but like none of that.
It's like clock speed or anything.
None of that. Yeah, none of the video copy, none of the clock speed, none of that shit. It literally just like is no change, right? God. But then when I look at fucking on Octane on the render itself and it's showing the meters and stuff, it's like this bitch is ripping, dude. Like it's going fucking hard. So I'm just like, I don't know how you guys program this, like, and my graphics card will like fucking shit out heat when it's going. Like you can tell it's really working.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It doesn't read on anything else for some reason.
I have a dual system, like you do too, right?
I used to. I had to use.
Yeah, now you don't. You have a quad system in one card.
Well, that's why I got to get a 3090 because like I had to take my 1080 Ti out of the main box and put it in.
I thought you had gotten it to replace already.
No. Sadly, it's just all I have in the main box is a 2080 Ti now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Damn, we gotta get on that, dude.
So the reason I haven't replaced it is because the goal is that I get 2 3090s and then put them in the main box, and then the 2080 Ti and the 1080 Ti goes in the NAS, in the server, and then I can just link it and run it all at once.
Dude.
Which is like, that's like having like almost, that's like having 3 3090s.
It's insane. It's really cool.
It'd be great, but fucking scalpers, dog. I don't really know. I'm gonna SLI that shit too, or I'll NVLink the 3090s. That's why I want them.
So cool.
Yeah, fucking
It's gonna be like the first day you get it and get to play with it. It's gonna be so cool.
It's gonna be sick. I know, dude. Unreal uses a lot of VRAM, way more than C4D and Octane. Well, I can't say that because
it just depends on what.
Yeah, it obviously
lends you to do things that require more.
Exactly. It's just a lot of shit, whereas like Octane just crunches path tracing. A lot of stuff that's like cheating is done in VRAM and Unreal. So yeah, like
non-physically accurate stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So VRAM will be used for like, I don't know, like light mass bakes. Okay. So it's like it's whatever nerd shit. But yeah,
I'm here
random
for it.
shit. Yeah, random shit that does it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but.
It's not tracing paths. It's like baking ambient occlusion kind of thing.
Yeah, sometimes if you want it.
Which you don't need. Yeah, don't need it to always.
Exactly. Yeah, but essentially I hit that cap on Unreal like a lot. Mm-hmm. My VRAM will just out and then it shits my whole project. It just crashes it. Right. Yeah. So I'm just like, I mean, granted, I only have 12 right now. 3090 is 24. It's already will be double, which will be a lot. But I'm like, let's just go God mode and fucking do 48 on some gangster shit,
Yeah, I've been running 8. I think the only time, it's just based on the kind of work I do too.
Yeah.
And maybe as I get more into it, I'm gonna want to push the ceiling. But like, I've had 8 gigs of VRAM for a while, and I haven't really had a problem. But I'm only really now getting into scenes that are more. Meant for a cinematic purpose where like I actually want to go in different places in the scene to record something, because usually it's like the scene is just a shot rather than like I'm in a room going around or looking at things. And I actually ran into that. I released a song last Friday actually, and I made the promo for it.
That visual is fucking sick.
Thank
dude.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was really good.
Thanks. Yeah, and like that zoom it does. That was like an afterthought, and I'm glad I just like actually threw some detail in there so it could like go into a room and out of it.
It looks great. Yeah, when it pulls out of the room, that looks really, really good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my strengths now is just animation in general, like knowing how to pace things and pull things and make it seem somewhat natural, and or at least I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I think where people, it's per taste actually. I can't really say that. I can't say there's a right or wrong with that kind of shit.
There are some certain things though, like too much fucking camera shake doesn't look real. Or
yeah, and sometimes like people really lean into the idea of a 3D camera.
Yeah.
Where I look at it differently. I'm like trying to direct a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
your content usually looks like I feel like I'm a person experiencing this thing first person a lot of the time.
Yeah, or I want it to look like a movie. Yeah,
camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't, because my whole thing is immersion. You know what I mean? So it's got to match something that actually happens in real life for me, especially with camera movement. And so yeah, it's like sometimes cameras do naturally pan. They do that shit. There's like a lot of those mechanical movements, and then other times it's like first person, people holding cell phone cameras or like holding a camcorder, but very rarely is like
interpolated like
exactly, like that, like, doesn't really
the
happen.
Robot have you ever seen the robots that can do that though?
Yes,
there's like one, I don't know what it's called.
It's fucking weird though. It looks fake.
It does.
Like, it's so crazy,
which it's really cool, and it's like a feat of engineering. But what you're talking about is people replicating that to the point where it's like, all right, it's like people. It's like the white noise base of CG, which slaps.
Yeah,
so like,
I wanna, dude. I'm fucking about to just start writing, like indie rock.
Do it.
Something like that. I don't know if I'd call it that, but yeah, that's what I'm like going into more.
Yeah.
New wave.
Nice.
Stuff. Yeah.
Are you familiar with What Good, the producer? Yeah. He's doing he's making like bedroom pop now. I think he made like a hyperpop song or something, but I don't know. Just like a cool example of someone who would like. I think he's really fucking sick.
Yeah.
And I think his shift in like total hard right or hard left is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this dude a lot, Mr. Kitty.
Nice.
Mr. Kitty's great.
What does he do?
It's like new wave.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I don't even know what new wave means.
I mean, with Mr. Kitty, it's like I'm not trying to put him in a box or anything like that. It's like Witch House, but like he's singing, you know. But it reminds me a lot more of new wave. New wave is kind of like Depeche Mode shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also not incredibly familiar.
Oh.
I know who and what they are, but like if I had to name a song, I wouldn't. Like know aesthetically roughly, but
yeah, like 80s kind of up tempo, sad, dark shit.
Cool.
Yeah. That kind of stuff. That's I don't know. I minus the up tempo stuff necessarily. That's the kind of shit that I just on the side have been making for fun.
I'm stoked to hear it. I mean, you showed me some cool stuff last time.
Same stuff, to be honest. I have not worked on shit lately, but that's what that's what I want to kind of dive into more.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I gotta write music. I just said I've been having too much fun with visuals. Oh yeah, speaking of which, we had that conversation on Twitter about the everyday process.
Oh yeah.
I finally sat down and started organizing my shit, man.
Oh, like content?
Yeah.
Wise?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
So like here's the thing. This is why to me that seemed so impossible for so long. Is
your assets?
Yeah, dude, I had zero, like nothing organized. Like so every single time I'd start a 3D project, I'm more just going to where I know they will be, maybe on the internet or like Quixel or something like that.
Yeah, Turbo Squid or something.
Yeah, Turbo Squid, and I'm like essentially making something brand new from scratch every fucking time.
I do that too, but then I just throw them in a folder. You know?
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I just never did that. I collected all for the fucking shit and put it in the project file folder, and that's good. But I just started yesterday. I spent like 12 hours straight building my content folders. And I was like, just as I'm doing it, it's just like clicking, like, this is going to be so fucking easy. Like, you just fucking throw shit in there and then render and you're like, good.
Every time I start a project, like, I do the same shit. Like, usually, I mean, I'll start with whatever subject or whatever, but then, like, I drop in a environment tag or whatever. I'm like, okay, go to my HDRI folder, here's the ones I usually like. Okay, there we go. Like, I wish I had like I want to throw grass in here instead of like learning to model it or whatever. I'm like, let's go to plants, like inside or like external, whatever. And like, characters, like my library isn't crazy, but like I know 5 years from now, it's just like the infrastructure.
Exactly. It's because I sat down and I finally like sat down and watched people make a shit. And it's of course it's like a no shit, dude moment. You know what I mean?
But still,
it's just like
the first it doesn't click until you do it.
Exactly, exactly. It didn't even occur to me like how that's really just this fucking secret to that. Yeah. Is like you just need to have everything drag and droppable. Yeah. Once it is, then you're gravy. Yeah. And it's like you'll have a grand time and you can just kind of throw shit at the wall. But like before, it's like I did it for literally 3 days. Mm-hmm. I did a fucking piece for 3 days straight, and every day I spent 14 hours on it. Yeah. And I was like, this is a fucking nightmare. There's no way I could do it. That was the what the fuck was that piece called? It was Sovereignty. The one with the fucking robot and there's like an alien coming through the fucking buildings.
With the city, and then it was like
and he was like sick. Standing on like a building with like a katana. Uh-huh. Yeah. What was that? I don't know. Whatever. That piece done in a day. Sovereignty, where it was like the person looking at the building and it was a building facade.
That's what I'm thinking of.
That was done in a day, and there's like some birds and shit. And then I don't even want to say this necessarily on the podcast, but fuck it. But like Visions from the Abyss Part 1 was done in a day. I don't want to say that on the podcast because it's like up for bidding right now.
For sure. But I think the thing is like if someone does, I mean, they'll naturally have qualms with that. But like the thing is, the reason it didn't take a day to do that, it took fucking 10 years to do that.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah, that one, and it wasn't necessary. That one in particular, that's what broke my day-to-day streak because when I like finished that one, I needed to fix shit. Like I was like, this is like done, but like I don't like the way this looks off top.
For sure.
So I had to spend another day like re-rendering all this shit. But
it's always the worst.
It's the worst.
Whenever anything's rendered, it's like, all right, now that I can see it perfectly, I hate this. Yeah. I completely forgot to do this.
On everything, yeah, exactly. So with that, I was just like, there was 3 days of doing like fucking 12 plus hour days going in. And I was like, I can't there's no way I can do this every day.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, he's not spending 12 hours every day.
Exactly.
And
he doesn't need to though. He has fucking 10 years of content just ready to go. Yeah. And it should. And it's not even uncreative at that point because it's like, dog, you have everything. Yeah. Like
that he's like there's a story behind him collecting all that shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's like I so get it.
It's just a different like snapshot of like that's a day of people's time or like 2 hours of people's time. Yeah. And like a couple hours of your time is still fucking insane, which is the thing. Like, just because one thing took you an hour or like took
exactly,
you days.
Yeah, that's the whole. I mean, it's so obvious. It's so linear. It's like when he drags in a landscape, it's done. It's already set up. It's done. It renders exactly how you want it to look. It's good to go. When I drag in a landscape, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do like height maps, I gotta fucking vertex map this and like all this bullshit and make it. You know what I mean?
Dude, I've never even used displacement maps for terrain yet. I still don't know how to do like now that you're saying doing height maps, I'm like, that's how that works. Fuck. Oh yeah. I still use the C4D terrain thing on every project, which looks the same on every project. Yeah.
You do the trick to that is you do
just randomizing it.
Or? No, you like do a subtle like landscape from C4D. Like
really subtle, and then a displacement map.
And then you put a displacement map on it.
Well, that's sick. Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna try that.
And but everything's got to be like in moderation, and you gotta get good displacement maps too, like
super high res too.
Yeah. They gotta be like 8K or some dumb shit, you know. But yeah, that's the thing. I'm like he just like. He has that. You know what I mean? That that drag and drop that he took, that took him 30 seconds, that's 2 hours of my time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like, you dropping in, it's like, I'm here, you're here, people's here. Like, you using a displacement map for a landscape is different, contrasted to what I did like 2 weeks ago. My most recent visual piece, which was like, just like a couple floaty balls and a van and a mountain. Yeah. Like, I spent a lot of time on those mountains, like
Yeah.
doing them, and they don't look that great, and it's just one color.
Yeah.
It looks all right. I think it looks pretty dope, but it's like you could have done that quicker and more effectively, just like people could have, you know.
Bro, the real fucking pro move though, like the level I'm trying to get on, especially when it comes to doing like everydays, is just compositing really hard.
Yeah.
Because like I watched like a snippet of this masterclass on matte painting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
It looks so real.
oh, it looks so fucking real. And that dude, he's rendering all his shit, right? They're rendered assets, but he's just rendering puzzle pieces. So like,
oh
yeah,
yeah, like a Z depth or just this one layer or something.
It's totally fucking fascinating. Like it's essentially the way that he was doing it was in about like 6 layers. I don't think I would go that far, but like he's literally like, let's say he's in C4D. I think he was using like Maya, but like doesn't matter. Let's say he's in C4D. Like the foreground, you just render the character, right? So that's your asset, and then you have that, and then he'd be like, here's the arc in 1 layer back, and then like I want some mountains here, so he'd be like, okay, 2 mountains, and then I can like Photoshop them where I want, and then matte painting, and then fucking landscape, and then sky, right? So he like massive mountain that like in 3D world looks dumb, like it just literally looks like this soloed mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he HDRI sky or whatever. That dude literally took an image off the internet of just a beautiful photograph of the sky. Throws it behind everything. Then color correct, composite fog, composite fucking like mist, that kind of shit. Throws it all together, and it was like, what the fuck?
Photoreal looking.
Photoreal.
Yeah.
Photoreal. Crazy shit. And like, granted, like, I mean, those layers are like mega scans and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, but the ideal was more so like, it's glamorized Photoshop. You know what I mean? It's super glamorized Photoshop, where it's a perfect hybrid between the two. And that's the stuff that I really want to get into, where I can like, because I'm way better at making landscapes in Unreal Engine, you know? So it's like, I just take my subject, let's say everything has the same HDRI, you know what I mean? I take my subject, fucking render it in C4D, whether it be like a road, for that idea, for instance, it's a road in a van.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, but my matte that I want it to be this huge epic mountain. So I just go into Unreal, set up a similar camera, and then and then make that, and then composite the background image. And you're just
with the same lighting or whatever.
Yeah. Because I think it's almost harder. You would think this is completely the opposite.
Yeah.
But I think it's almost harder to fit everything in.
Apologies.
Thanks, Siri. But I think it's almost harder to take all those objects in a 3D world.
Yeah.
And in one go, render them to make them look like they look the same.
And there's so many things you could tweak.
Yeah.
But like doing it in Photoshop, there's so many tricks to make things look good so quick.
Yeah.
And it's just easier too.
Oh yeah, way easier.
Yeah.
Way faster too.
Damn.
The biggest thing for me is always like practical effects that exist everywhere, like fog, fire, rain, mist, whatever. Like
that's such a hack that makes something like I actually did this, not this method, but something really similar. I made a scene where it was like a woman on like a pedestal looking towards this like monolithic light with a cityscape in the background.
Yeah.
And I rendered it out, and I spent all my time like in 3D making it look good, but then it was like it was done rendering just one frame, but I had it cranked it so it looked super good. And then I'm noticing a bunch of things I wanted to fix, and was like, I don't want to fucking render this again or whatever. So I just like, okay, I'm gonna grab some of these buildings from over here, like scale them up a little bit, turn off some of the lights, like healing brush this so it looks clean and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I forgot to do any surface imperfections on this whole platform. Slap some fog on there, like change the lighting a little bit with curves, like it's versus like going into the rabbit hole of doing that technically, like, oh, this light would have to be rotated because then it's bouncing over here, but then her hair's looking a little different now.
Right.
You know?
The real fucking the gangster move though is just fucking light passes. I'm just like, if people use them, know how to use them, and they do it intelligently, I'm like, dude, you just are so comfy. You have to be so fucking in that shit, you know?
Did you see that video that I sent you, that video of the linear workflow? Did you ever watch that, dude?
Oh no, I need to though, actually.
That guy has a video on EXR passes.
Yeah.
And he uses them like God mode, and everything just looks realer than real, and it's like,
Yeah, I watched
I That guy's insane.
I watched this tutorial for this dude that models. He does character concepts in ZBrush.
Cool.
And he did some fascinating shit. He did beyond light. He did light passes, but he would do them even more fucking God mode, because he's just doing character design. So it's just a portrait of someone, right? So what he would do is do fucking reflection passes for different lights. So he's not even changing the light. Yeah, it was like, oh, but I want a rim light to light up this character's nose right here. So he just does a reflection pass of a rim light right there and then photoshops it on. It's a really crazy way to go about things. But he did some shit that I thought was really brilliant. He did passes of completely different materials on the character. Because once again, he's doing character portraits.
Yeah.
So you have to like nail it, and it has to look realer than real. So he would do like one pass that's literally like jelly. Like just straight
for like
up.
the skin for his
subsurface?
For the
subsurface scattering. Yeah, it would just be a pass.
And then composite. That's genius.
Exactly. And
when you said multiple materials, I was like trying to figure out. I'm like, going where I think you're going.
It totally works, dude. It totally works like how you think it would. It's crazy. So like another one, like I don't know, like he did like a fucking just like straight fucking metallic material, you know what I mean? And like in his head, he was like talking out loud while he's doing it. He's like, well, I kind of like imagine the skin to be like a little bit wet, you know, organic, but have like maybe like fuck, because he's a character designer, like maybe like scabs and shit on it.
So he do bumps or whatever.
Exactly. So he do like all of those materials though, and then composite them together.
Oh, so, like the full, like it's just one giant scab, and then just like I just pick it out right here.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's like really one of them is just covered, like completely fucked up. Yeah, and then you mask it out, and then another pass is like completely smooth and completely, and then one's jelly. And I was just like, dude, that's crazy clever, because the way they come out looking is like, I mean, it's like that like Magic the Gathering type, but like beyond photorealistic, like perfect character concept shit.
That's sick.
Yeah, which is like the epitome of nerd design. The epitome, but I was like, dude, this can actually apply to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, even specifically, like, in the game industry, like, that's badass, and that's a needed skill.
Yeah, it's a super needed skill.
It's so cool.
I was just like, damn, that shit is clever.
Yeah. I really, recently haven't been watching a lot of tutorials, like, or educating myself. Like, I've just been working, and I think it's, well, with some exceptions, but I think it's super important to, like, kind of, like, leverage your work as an excuse to use a tutorial. Because, like, I haven't watched any videos like that have blown my mind in a minute. And seeing people's approaches and everything is, like, so important just to keeping it, not just keeping it exciting, but, like, that's how you get good or better, you know?
So that's the only way that I learned anything ever.
Yeah.
Swear to God. Is, like, I want to make this. So I watched a tutorial to do it.
Yeah, same.
The only exception I think was with audio engineering, where I ever was like, went on a stint of watching tutorials just to watch them.
Oh, yeah.
Where I was like, I'm just going to pack knowledge right now.
Yeah, I think that works in the beginning, but not like...
Yeah, but the reason...
I mean, I'm saying, like, do it while also getting paid.
Yeah, oh no, and that was it for a really long time, too. Because I would just take gigs where I was like, I know this is possible with my gear. I just need to learn how to do it.
I don't know how to do it yet, but I will, yeah.
Yeah, I would do that for a really long time, too. But the reason I was watching that dude shit on ZBrush is because I want to get into it, but my brain hasn't made the connection of, like, it's weird, dude. It's like trying to think of a color you've never seen before.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get how to fucking sculpt a face. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't fucking think that way. Like, or I guess more so, it's not even that. It's like, yeah, I could meticulously sit there and figure it out and all that shit. But it's more the idea of like, but why would I use this? And how would I make it look cool? Like, I try to imagine a character I would think of, and like, I get nothing. You know what I mean? Especially when
when you're sitting down in front of like Cinema 4D or whatever,
Yeah, I'm like, what do I even like in a character world? Like, I like actual, I don't know. I don't really, So
That's exciting though.
It is, and that's the thing is the thought of it, the thought of like, I can make things from scratch, whatever the fuck I want it to be, abstract or not abstract.
Yeah.
Super exciting. So I'm like, I need to know ZBrush. I want to know ZBrush.
Yeah.
And I want to sit there when I'm bored and fucking whip shit up. I want that. But I like can't justify it in my I can't figure it out in my brain. So I was watching that dude's stuff to be like, why and how do you do this?
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, I still am not totally there, but I might just have to one day just pull the trigger and be like, all right, I'm just gonna make some bullshit, I guess.
I think when you do, it's gonna be pretty dope.
I hope so. And like, I gotta.
And if not, you wouldn't post it.
Right. I have a sick ass workflow with Substance Painter too, so it makes a lot of sense to do that.
I still haven't gotten on that.
That's great.
I got into X Particles though, which was tight because I took on a client piece, like it was like late April, stretched another week into May.
Yeah.
But
where are we at? Buddy?
Yeah, I was gonna say
2 hours. It's great. Anyway, continue.
She wanted a sculpture that she made in analog, in like a real sculpture, to be like wrapped in strings, and I was like, yeah, I can do that. Like I'll figure,
Yeah.
Like it's, might be a little technically difficult, but I went for it, and it just happened that, of course, someone on YouTube, like him and his studio built an entire like pipeline workflow using X Particles to make a string wrapped character. And I'm like,
damn,
there you fucking go. But it's actually funny, kind of like looking at this strokes of your painting there. It kind of reminds me of that.
I wish I could show you. Yeah, so that's all digital. I just drew over a photograph I really like. But I wish I could show you the prints that Supermassive collected, actually.
I viewed the NFT digitally, but seeing the prints in person would be really cool.
Yeah, it's visually chaotic. I really, really, really was happy with those, man.
Nice.
Like, I had it's weird, it's hard to explain. I had a pretty, like, sentimental bond with them, because I was just like, wow, this is
beautiful.
Yeah, real, and it looks fucking good.
That's so cool.
Yeah, when we put them up in the studio to take those photos, like with one of them, with the face in particular, I was like, man, whoever gets this is like that. They got a fucking treat, because I really wish that I had that in my spot. And I'm not like trying to gas myself up because of this or that. I just
doesn't sound like it.
For me, it was exactly what I mean, you make what you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like exactly what I wanted, and it was just like,
that's such an empowering, like a good feeling to break through that threshold where you make something like, you make what you like, but like once you make a song or something and you like it so much that like you actually want to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
I mean, and like I think that's like from the get-go, you always want to listen to your own music because it's really fun and exciting, but like when you actually like are like, I don't know, just a damn moment. Like,
yeah, exactly, because I never made like a piece that big.
Yeah,
that had like,
that's a crazy example.
Yeah, it was like 6 feet. It was big. It was bigger than that for sure.
It was like 6 feet.
That's probably like 5.5 feet. Or no, it's more than that. It's probably like 5'10" or 5'11" or something like that. But those pieces were just a straight 6 feet by 3 feet. They were really big.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, it was like so fucking. I never made something that was that big and had like paint and shit.
Yeah.
I never like did it that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've obviously like when I was younger, that's how I like grew up, is I was making studio art, you know, but never like sat down, especially as an adult, and just been like, I'm gonna fucking do this.
Yeah.
And like, I know how to do it. I know what I have in mind. I just like never had a reason or never thought that
execute it.
Yeah.
You did it.
It was so fucking cool. I just wish I had more space in this house to do things like that.
Yeah.
That's why I want to move actually so bad. There's not enough space here to do that shit.
Nice. I'd be excited to see like what kind of spot you come up with next or get next, because this is a really cool like creative space.
I like it, but I want
It's not like it's huge, but like it is just well tuned, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, the acoustics in this room are fun. Except for I have an anti-node with bass right there. I found it recently. It sucks.
Like right there.
Right where I listen to shit. Yeah, I have to take my whole desk studio. I have to pull it back, like
further towards the wall.
No, further away from the wall.
Oh, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
The listening position is supposed to be like 5/8 of the way.
Yeah,
you probably know that. Yeah.
I ran it because I was like, I just want this here. Yeah. So, and I didn't think it would be that big of an issue, but I was engineering the song and I was like, oh, I can't hear the sub.
Yeah.
This is metering a lot of sub, but
my room has that too.
Yeah.
And it is 5/8, but it's such a small room. Super small room with a 10-inch, and it's dumb. Like,
yeah.
You have bass, and then you sit into you slide into where I sit all day, and then it goes away. It's like, oh, no.
It's a problem. Yeah.
I stand in the corner and look out my balcony just to test music and like get away from my computer for a second.
Yeah, I'll find myself. I'll roll back in my chair.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, now there's sub.
Yep.
And of course, it's like certain notes. That's how physics works. But it's just specifically with that one where I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I also was thinking, there's like a fucking judo move to just solve that problem though. Is to just get a sub.
And you don't have a sub.
Yeah, like I'd reposition it and then
fuck something else up somehow, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But might be a good decision.
Yeah, I mean they go down to 38. You don't really need to go much lower than that. That's getting into the like real tummy rumble shit. But I don't know. Just that alone kind of made me consider buying a sub. Mm-hmm. Just because I was like, I don't want to have to deal with that.
For sure.
Or another like cool idea I had is using. It'd be hard to like figure this out, but using a sub pack as a crossover, not because there's any it's not a noise thing. It's like that would just be sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is everything below 60 hertz or whatever.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know, it just rumbles. I'm like, oh. But I'd probably...
like just the low, like just the incredibly sub?
Exactly, just the super lows. Like I can hear everything else.
That would be cool. I'm not really a fan of sub packs. I've only really sat with one in one situation, but it just didn't... It seemed like maybe it was... I think the guy was like overdriving it or something, but it was just rumbly and like it didn't feel practical to me.
Oh yeah, they're completely impractical.
Okay.
It's just you're.
But some people make music with them.
Oh, I know. Like, I don't. I'm like I like to listen. Music is listened to, so I like to listen to it.
Yeah.
But with that super low shit, I think having it more tactile would be smart. Like you can just like, with that's sharper than you can hear. You know, in the sense where it's like if you can feel exactly what your sub is doing.
Yeah, for sure. That's a lot more information, kind of, since your ears can't really like.
Yeah, because you can't really
20 hertz. Like that's not
exactly. You can't hear even as low as like.
Well, you can't hear 20 hertz. Like
right, even as low as like 35, you can't really hear that.
Yeah.
Like you only feel it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, what if you just like sharply really felt it?
Yeah, I've heard some people put them under their feet.
Makes a lot of sense.
That would be tight, I think.
Yeah, that makes a shit.
I feel like that'd be less intrusive than like on your back too.
That is also true. Also true. But then there is the thing where it's just like, or just get a sub.
Which I have, and I'm very happy with.
Nice.
I haven't gotten a noise complaint the entire time. I've lived in my apartment or my room like almost 3 years now. Nothing, and I'm pretty obnoxious.
That's pretty great.
But I don't go late into the night loud. That's why.
Our leasing agent that put us in this place actually kind of put me on. He's like, I mean, you're in OC though, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in OC. Yeah.
Well, that's why it's like,
yeah.
I'm surprised. It's quiet.
Out here, he's like, I should tell you to care, but like, dude, this is like LA. Like, no one gives a shit. It's like the loudest fucking city. Like, yeah. It's so funny. Like, I thought that I was even considering that being an issue. It's like, dude, I got like some dude getting shit-faced like right on my doorstep at like 3 a.m. Yeah. Like I you know what I mean? It's so irrelevant.
Yeah.
Or like the helicopters in the middle of the night.
Dude. I lived in Chicago for a year and like I had like just this shit basement room in an apartment for $450.
Yeah, solid deal.
It was a deal, but it was dangerous.
Sus deal.
It was a sus deal. But yeah, no, I could just be as loud as I want because like, why would anyone call the cops?
Yeah,
everyone's got a reason not to.
No doubt. You want to go get lunch or something?
I'm down.
Hell yeah! All right, this is a good place to cap it.
Yeah.
All right, that was fun. That was
yes,
fun.
Yes, sir. We should plug a thing we're doing. July 9th to 11th.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we opened up with it. It's cool.
We did, yeah.
They know. Yeah, Vibey Desert, July 9th to 11th.
Let's go.
What day is it? It's Monday? This will probably hit the internet on Thursday or something like that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, even though I'm going to keep talking to you. Just want to, close it out. I appreciate you.
Yeah, totally. What I'm going to start doing, I'm going to go back to the intro screen to end it now because I realized all of them just abruptly end.
Oh.
And I'm like, I don't know, there should be something.
I'm just going to fade into this wall then.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. All right. Thank you. I will see, whatever the fuck, everyone on the next one. And